Yeah, and that's one thing with Brunswick, and that's why we have such a connection to Brunswick, because we know this is the OG, and we know that if this isn't top notch, then the others won't be, because that's what people want. People want to know, where the flavours really come from, and when they come in here, if the shop isn't, that vibe that we expect from our staff or in here, such as music or, energy, I think it will affect the others. And that's why you always, like I said, find one of us in here because...
And you build a relationship with customers. Like, I've literally seen customers grow old. In here. I've seen kids grow up,
I've been coming here since I was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
I grew up just on Dawson Street. I used to come here I come here all the time.
Like, I used to see kids, and now they come in with their own kids. So
that's amazing.
Hey guys, welcome. What are you laughing about? Hey guys, welcome to Heart Media Podcast. And today, me and the boys will take you through A1. Fucked you all. Sorry guys, I fucked it. We're from Haikal. Just hey, what's happening right now? Wait, yeah.
Alright. Welcome to Heart Media Podcast. My name is Haik, along with my brother Daniel and Anthony, and we're going to take you through all things A1.
We'll take you through a bit of our personal life, business, and some games that we went through. And we're going to take you through our menu, our lifestyle, and we're going to get a bit deep. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Heart Media Podcast. Today we have a special episode. We are at A1 Bakery in Brunswick. We got Anthony, Daniel and Haik for our A1 episode. Really amazing episode. Lots of laughs, lots of emotions, bit of tears. We don't know. You have to watch it. Learned about their story, their parents, the past, the future. Amazing episode. I really feel good about it, and I really think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, this has been one that's been a really long time coming. We had really high expectations for it, and to say that it delivered would be an understatement. So that's it. Stay tuned. It was really awesome.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all the stuff, and yeah, love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Welcome.
This is it, I know.
Thank you for having us. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
We really appreciate it. Like, we've been wanting to do it for a while. I've known you boys for a while now, and yeah, it's really a pleasure to hear your story and your family story and what's in the future. And yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you, man. No, we miss having you in Brunswick. We know you're in Fitzroy now, so you're close to Daniel, but yeah, we miss having you.
Yeah, it was nice seeing Billy for lunchtime nearly every day. You don't come down there much anymore, do you?
He loved it.
Yeah.
Just in Fitzroy,
Yeah.
Not the same.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about A1? What is A1 and when did A1 start and what's happening?
Well, yeah, A1 pretty much my dad and his business partner, who's his brother-in-law, opened it back in like the early 90s, 92. And yeah, man, like we've just been going ever since. So it's been pretty good. It's been family the whole way, and yeah, man, we're just trying new things now, like as you can see, but yeah.
And we start like A1 started in this shop.
Yeah, we this was the first shop.
Okay.
So pretty much it was mainly like a Lebanese grocer. Like we had groceries up to the tiles here that you can see.
Literally up to this wall
And
here.
and we had like maybe 10 tables at that point.
Yeah.
And then we started to get busier and busier, and we thought we needed to expand and make more room. So we pushed a few walls back, increased the seating, and yeah, it is what it is today.
Increased the menu even too.
Yeah,
so,
and the menu, yeah.
The menu only had a few pastries on it, not until I reckon 15 years ago, until pretty much Haik stepped in. Haik's a bit older than us. Haik's got 7 years on us. So
yeah,
poor bloke had to wait a while until we can give him a hand. Yeah, you gotta let him know. I guess now it's just putting our twist onto it, which is nice, and I think that shows through Fitzroy and potentially High Point. Yeah, so the new store now. Yeah.
What made you choose High Point?
In all honesty, it was a couple of people actually approached me down in Brunswick Street, and I spoke to the boys, and I just thought, I think it's time. Like, we're slowly expanding, and it's that sort of
graphic of sort of trying to catch the people everywhere. So now we're down west, so it's pretty good just to go down that side and attract that people there.
Yeah, we were approached, I think over a year ago, and they wanted to give us a spot there that we weren't happy with, and we actually knocked it down.
Yeah.
Until they persisted, and they actually approached Dan again, and they found a really good spot for us. And honestly, once we all saw it, we were like, this is it.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that
So
everyone
do we
sees
have a
that
date?
What is it, December 17th?
December 17th.
For now, if there's no delays or
That's
anything,
huge.
hopefully,
Yeah, but always.
Yeah, so
Always
fingers crossed,
the problem.
December 17 we should be open.
Beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah.
So, Haikal, you started obviously from the brothers with the family business.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started?
Well, man, there's a lot to, man, I've been here for too long.
Yeah.
Because when I first, even when, all my birthdays were pretty much here in the early 90s. I grew up here with my sister, my cousin, so every birthday was just in the back, light up candles, sing happy birthday. We all had our birthdays here because
Put the candle in cheese pie.
because my mum worked here as
Pretty
well
much.
full time. My auntie worked here full time, and even my cousins used to help out on the weekends with my sister.
Yeah.
So every day, we'd be coming after school on the weekends and stuff like that. So then I just grew up around here.
In
And
the
you
family
learned
business.
the trade early on.
Yeah, well, you'd go in the kitchen, you'd look around, you'd try to muck around, you'd have a laugh, But it always started filling up the fridge, stocking up shelves, you know what I mean? Packing up groceries for
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
That's how it started, and then you start to learn things inside the kitchen.
Yeah. So
Hard
you
work.
know, when we're young, we get asked, "What do you want to be when you grow
Yeah.
up?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you always know you wanted to be in the family business, or did you want it to be a pilot, for example?
No, I always knew I wanted to help the family.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how. I didn't know that I'd still be here, 30 years later. So, but yeah, I don't regret anything. So, and I'm pretty happy to still be here.
Beautiful.
What
What about
about you?
the twins?
Yeah.
I think our mindset was a bit different growing up. We were into sports, footy. We were sort of into the sports. So we were doing our own thing with, personal training. And we were trying to get into that field. But then again, slowly, working part-time, just ate us away. It eats you away before you know it.
Yeah, before
And
you
we
know
were
it, you've got
stuck,
so much control in the shop, and the shop somehow relies on you, and you're like,
Then you get sucked in.
And then you get sucked in, you're
like,
I don't
you
want
know,
to leave.
then you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you feel like you want to be in here.
Because you're invested.
You're invested,
personally.
Yeah,
and you want it
exactly.
a certain way because you care so much because it's your family's. And I think that's what's so important with us. You always see one of us in here because Dad especially, embedded in our heads that you have to keep your eye on the shop, on the staff, make people happy, and I think that's what we've kept with us, ever since we've stepped into this shop.
Wherever you go, really, it's more about us being there.
Yeah.
So that's just one of our rule. If it's not three of us, it needs to be one. So yeah, I feel like that's what makes us a bit different now.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Anthony a bit before about you guys scaling and everyone's at least one of the shops.
Yeah.
So you've got one more coming, High
Yeah.
Point. So that will be one of you guys will have to just be there, I assume, for it to work.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna hope that Anthony probably takes that one there, but we're gonna be.
Yeah, surprise.
Bit of a handball, but I think it's easier said than done.
We haven't broken it to him yet.
It's easier said than done, man.
Was that you break it to him just now?
No, I think we'll try to share the load between here and all the other shops.
Yeah.
Just at least if one of us just keeps an eye on it, at a certain time, and then
Yeah.
it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it like to work with your brothers and your family all the time?
We're pretty lucky, man, to be honest.
Yeah?
I think
Yeah.
we're lucky. We're pretty lucky we have a bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we get along, so
Yeah.
we get on each other's nerves and stuff like that. But
Can't say, there's no days where we don't fight. There's going to be days where we're bumping heads, but the next hour you're sweet again. It's just-
Hour or 10 minutes,
Yeah.
it just it passes because it has to.
Yeah,
I done a lot of hours with my dad, so I saw the way my dad used to run the business and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Whereas, sometimes when I'm saying something to my brothers, they're like, you remind me of Dad, you know what I mean?
Hake's stuck in that way where
Yeah,
Dad's
yeah.
in him,
The
but
old school way.
which is good sometimes because the staff needs that.
Yeah.
Us coming in, we are tough on the staff, but we're not the way my dad was.
The
you know?
old school intensity.
Exactly, and I
Yeah.
think Hake's got that, which is good.
I'm half, man.
Yeah,
So
and Hake always tells me there has to be a good guy, you know, and he always tells me, obviously when I get, you know, fired up, he tells me there has to be a good guy. So
they got the nicer face.
And you're the good guy.
I'm the good guy. Well, me being here, Daniel's in Fitzroy now, so he doesn't have to deal with Hake's shit pretty much. Lucky me, man, lucky me.
That's
Do you think it gets easier the older you get, or like because I don't know, you know each other more, or
It does get easier, man, but then like we bring new challenges to the table, like Fitzroy and now High Point. So
Yeah.
it gets easier, but we just like to challenge ourselves and
Like to
challenge
stay
each
busy.
other.
Yeah, I feel like when it's that quiet period of us just working, and just focusing on the business and not really expanding in a way, we start to get a bit bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we like to sort of expand and like improve our business.
how
Yeah.
do you keep that like motivation in terms of we don't want to, because you know hospitality can be intense and a bit boring, you know.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
How do you keep that motivation? I know it's your family business, but in terms of other things in life or hobbies, I don't know.
I feel like Anthony take this one because he's one man of many talents. Like
Yeah.
he will do things and he'll juggle things. Like even from his love life and from his running life, he's
Yeah.
just always busy.
I think it's one of those things you just gotta, you know, obviously you have to love it.
Yeah.
And when you love something, you won't even think about how you're going to do it. And I think when you make time for things, and I think Dan had the passion of opening up a shop, and it started with the food truck. Back in 2020, COVID happened, and this is what we're talking about being bored.
Yeah.
We had nothing to do, to be honest, and you know we're running errands through here, trying to make the business run, and we had a good opportunity. The food truck came up, and thankfully we had time to organise the food truck and kind of grow it. And through that, it kind of taught us to open up a shop. So I think it was a lesson that we took on board, and it was a great opportunity for us to grow, you know.
Yeah,
and
It's something uncomfortable a little bit. It's a
Exactly.
challenge, yeah.
And I feel like we were stuck in this little bubble, like here,
Yeah.
and we were pretty scared to leave here. Like,
Yeah.
who's going to run it? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And I feel like taking the step and just doing things actually just motivated us to keep going.
A lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
I do remember during COVID, because that's when I used to work across the road, and honestly, that's where I actually like, especially with Anthony, we used to have a lot of chats. We used to read the same kind of book,
Yeah.
Think Like a Monk. And yeah, I do remember Anthony was so driven with like those personal growth, like
yeah.
mindset and running, and yeah, it was pretty deep. I think, yeah.
I think that time in my life, I was going through something mentally, and I had to overcome a few things, you know. And when those demons come about, it's either you sit there and you let them take over, or you actually do something about it. And it didn't take me a while till I started reading, and I opened up a couple books, you know, David Goggins being one of them, and then Think Like a Monk. And then I thought I'd challenge myself with marathons and that sort of stuff. And that's what kind of kept me feeling like there's more to life and there's more to challenge myself, because, you know, when it comes to a point where you're like, man, what am I here for?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, and then you ran to Geelong.
And then I did that run to
Massive.
Geelong.
Yeah.
And I think one thing leads to another, and
Yeah.
I think God's got a plan for everyone. You know,
Beautiful.
he might knock you down sometimes, but you know, if you keep the hope up, there's a lot there for you.
What were you going through? What were the kind of mental challenges that you were facing at the time?
Mental challenges, honestly, man, I had a lot of anxiety at the time, a lot of stress just with, honestly, sometimes being
How old
bored.
were you?
I was probably about 22.
That
There it
age.
is.
Yeah. I think about 22 or maybe even 23, but kind of started, and I didn't know it was starting. And before I knew it, I think by like 24, I felt this pressure of life, and the boys went through it. The boys seen me go through it, and to be honest, it was tough. And I'm very grateful to have such support as friends and family that I did at the time. But yeah, I think it's so important to keep yourself challenged, and if you're not, then you're too comfortable, and that's a sign of getting uncomfortable.
How do you deal with it, Haikal, like that?
Oh man, I used to just work a lot. I still do, but at that in my early 20s, it was just like, you got to go to work, man, and that was it. I didn't have time to worry about other things.
It was a bit different back in the days in terms
was
of like self-care.
It was
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I didn't have a balance.
Yeah.
I've only had a balance recently. Maybe because they tried to tell me, man, you need a balance. Like you need to not work 6-7 days a week, and just take a
Take it
step
easy,
back
yeah.
and just you know what I mean. So I learnt that over time, but also because because I didn't have the boys working with me at that stage.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like I just felt like I had to do so many things. But other than that, like when they came into the business, it took a lot of weight off
Game
my
changer.
shoulders. Yeah.
How do you balance it?
Yeah.
What do you balance it with?
Now, now I've got 2 dogs. I try to go to the gym. I try to, but I should go more often. But mainly just, man, I've got a house now, so I spend a lot of time in the garden, stuff like that. But yeah, mainly with my dogs and family,
You
man.
boys make some
Beautiful.
wine as well.
Yeah, we do actually.
Yeah.
That's one point that I actually spoke to Anth about today. We've been brewing this wine for well over it's meant to, and
Yeah, we
we
pushed
sort
it a
of
bit.
said to ourselves, just to make it sort of a positive way to think, we're like, it's probably better for the wine just to keep it going a bit longer.
Yeah, it kind of makes us feel
Let
better
it
that we
age
should have
itself.
given it more attention. Yeah,
We've
but
been a bit slack.
I told the
so-
boys, it's fine, just leave it. It's probably, it's probably soaking in all the flavours. You know. As long as you believe in that thing, I honestly believe
It'll
that.
be something.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
That it will work.
It's gonna be fine wine.
Yeah. And you guys got a farm as well.
Yeah, and Digger's Rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dad's got an olive farm.
That's your dad's, yeah?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got a bit.
Is
Beautiful.
that where
Yeah,
the shop
that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
farm.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's it,
behind
yeah.
the house is like.
you didn't know that was
there's
ours?
olive trees.
Oh,
You probably-
that's where it is.
Yeah, on the
You had the
drone,
drone,
you
so
could've
you
seen
could probably see the olive trees.
I was a blizzard, bro. Like,
Actually, it was crazy weather that day.
Yes.
Yeah, it was actually crazy. Yeah, it was
Okay,
crazy.
so
day,
you
yeah.
produce your own olive oil. Is that right?
We try to. Every time it's olive season, Dad goes to Lebanon, so
Okay.
it sort of stuffs up his plans.
Yeah.
So-
But yeah, we've used the oil from here before. Some of the olives we're using now actually are from the farm. So
Yeah, which is nice,
That's
because
beautiful.
for
Yeah.
us, even we take it home. We still use the organic olive oil, which is nice at home.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good to have. Dad has fun with it. He doesn't really, it's just a way to run with Lebanon because he's so far away from there, and I think the farm brings him back to there.
Yeah.
So
and it
he's-
gives him something to do as well. He's not
Yeah.
here. He's semi-retired. I won't say retired because he won't admit it.
Yeah, he won't admit
but it gives him like a hobby.
Yeah.
So he goes and spends a lot of time there. Does things, and he's made half the tables in here as well. So.
Wow.
And then the paintings as well.
Does he come in and
done a
check and give you shit? Or-
He does. He'll come
Always
in and
does.
be like,
literally a couple minutes. I'm not joking. He'll come in for a couple minutes and leave.
he'll walk in, he'll say something, and he'll walk out. So.
He has to point one thing out before leaving.
And yeah, I feel like we just sort of suck it up and just take it
Yeah,
in.
we
And
used to
just,
it
yeah,
now,
make
and-
him happy and just say, all right, done. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boys, I'm really curious to know, it's been almost 30 years, a bit more than 30 years, A1, and you guys have the media knows about you, people knows about you, you build such a great community. I think Haikal, you can speak a lot on that. How did it all kind of happen in terms of is it natural or is it something you guys work towards or what's your thoughts about
I think pretty much we just try to focus on our food. We never try to reach out to people or influencers or anything. Thankfully, everything's come our way, which is good, just because of the way we've been making and serving food. You get people like Greg Malouf came in.
Bourdain?
Anthony Bourdain, Anthony Bourdain came in.
Massive.
That was just from word of mouth.
Yeah.
We've done work with Shane D'Elia.
Yeah.
And he was just a customer, and we meet each other through here.
Oh,
and then we
just
done
like that.
yeah, just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of great people that are big in the industry. So thankfully, it's just everything's just come to us. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
What about you boys? Now you're the new Chan and the social media and the branding. Do you and like you did like cool collabs with like Adidas, and you're always doing something. You got the Australian Open. Like, do you guys like think of it like, okay, like?
It's actually funny that you say
It's
that.
funny, man.
Because we think about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And for us to reach out and approach people, it's not us.
Yeah.
So I feel like we sort of put it out there, and it's funny because it comes back. So one time, I think it was me and the boys, we went to the Oz Open, and I think it was last year, and we were saying, we need to get into this place. How do we get into this
But
place?
we never try.
And after that day, it was never spoken of.
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple months ago, we had someone just, randomly walk in and just want to chat to us about having us in there potentially. And there we are. Like,
Incredible.
I think it's a good way to keep us surprised and love what we do, because if you're seeking out so much, what's left to surprise you by, if you're reaching out for it. But
I
when
love
you-
this
Like last
mindset.
year, we supplied Tom Serafian with Zata for the Australian Open.
Yeah.
He was doing like a big.
and we thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, with that
'cause
was
our
pretty good.
starter was in
So
there.
I think like when you do things like that, it just later on it
Yeah.
just leads to bigger things.
it's okay. That's Hake's phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. I think your model that you've got of just, focusing on the quality and then kind of the rest follows, right? With such an organic marketing strategy, because if a place is good, you're going to go there and you're going to try it. You meet you guys. It's amazing. Have a great experience. You're going to tell the next person. They're going to tell the next person. Because you guys have been running for so long, that's how you just became an institution that way. But I really think it's crazy to think, because you've got such a, I think it's a really successful business from the outside.
Thanks,
it looks
man.
very
Thank you.
successful.
Thank you.
But you've got that mindset where you're thinking that you have to still keep an eye on it, where I think of a lot of people are coming into hospitality thinking, I'm going to start one shop and in a year I'm going to open up 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. And it just gets diluted.
Yeah, and that's one thing with Brunswick, and that's why we have such a connection to Brunswick, because we know this is the OG, and we know that if this isn't top notch, then the others won't be, because that's what people want. People want to know, where the flavors really come from, and when they come in
flagship.
here, if the shop isn't, that vibe that we expect from our staff or in here, such as music or energy, I think it will affect the others. And that's why you always, like I said, find one of us in here, because
And you
know,
build
he's
a
important.
relationship with customers. Like I've literally seen customers grow old.
Yeah.
Like in here, I've seen kids grow up.
I've been coming here since
with
I was
their
like
own
6 years
family,
old.
Yeah.
I grew up just on Dawson Street. I used to come here. I come here all the
Like,
time.
I used to see kids, and now they come in with their own kids.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
crazy
it is.
like that.
It is.
You build that relationship with customers, and like they feel comfortable. They keep coming
It
back.
also makes you feel old, but
Yeah.
it's
It
good.
does make you feel old. Yeah.
Do you actually do you recall a moment where you really felt kind of emotional about something in that context?
Yeah, look,
There's been a lot of customers that we've lost.
I'd have
Like,
to say the Greeks. There's a group of Greeks that used to come in from the 90s. They never used to call each other. They used to just come here at a certain time every day. If they see their mates, they'll sit down, they'll have a cappuccino, and then they'll leave. And they used to do that maybe 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
And then they kept on doing it until COVID. So until COVID, then slowly, they started getting older. One person couldn't make it, this and that. But then after COVID, it sort of just stopped because they got older and then they got scared to come out. And then that was a sad moment, for us, because you see them every day, and you build the relationship, you muck around with them, and then you just don't see them anymore. And then
I think that's a connection as well. Like Hake built with some customers, to the point where he went and checked up on them because they weren't coming in. And
yeah, I used to worry about him. So I used to go
Literally.
knock on his house just to make sure he's alright.
because I think Hake would have dropped him off sometimes at home, or certain stuff like that. He knew where he lived.
Yeah,
And
you see him
That's so
walking
beautiful,
sometimes. So
man.
it's
Yeah,
just-
It's so
you
personal.
You
I
build
can't
a
believe it.
relationship,
Yeah.
you build that relationship, that community around Brunswick, and that's what I think is nice with Brunswick and even the people in Brunswick, man. I love it around here. It is nice.
That's how we met.
Yeah,
exactly right. It's such a great story. Yeah.
Absolutely, and here we are.
You've
Yeah.
seen the
It's awesome.
you've seen the demographic, I guess, of Brunswick change a lot
sure,
throughout the
yeah.
years. Yeah, from the 90s to now, it's crazy the change.
insane.
How do you feel about it now, and how do you feel about changing customer expectations and how you guys meet them?
I
think we're lucky, man, because our food-wise, we're talking food-wise, and obviously we're very welcoming with no matter what you are, all your beliefs. But food-wise, I think with everyone's, dietary requirements and all that sort of stuff, there's so much on the menu that suits people. Whether you're vegan,
Even
whether you're
price-wise.
gluten.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Like, you have such a great entry level prices. It's honestly
But
like.
Billy, I promise you,
Yeah.
you'll still find people who complain about a $2.50 zata or $1.60 bread. Like,
Yeah, you'll be
you can't make
surprised.
people
You'll be
happy.
surprised.
And I feel like
Yeah.
that's what made us realise you can't make everyone happy. And even when you get the feedback on Google or like social media in general, you just sort of have to brush it away
Yeah.
because you can't let them bring you down.
Yeah.
Because we do our best to make people happy.
Yeah.
We cook everything fresh every day and nothing's frozen. And it just still like makes you upset in a way that people don't see your work,
Yeah.
I think unless someone's in it
Yeah.
and they understand what's happening and how much effort goes behind running a business, then they'll never
Yeah,
understand.
if you're in like hospo, then you understand the price of like,
Of
you know,
course.
veggies
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
like it goes up and down every day.
Yeah.
So
I think we were asking the question from more of a perspective of your prices are so low, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
How do you maintain it and like manage those expectations? But you're saying that even then, people
Even then,
still
yeah.
give you shit for the price of them.
Of course, man.
But yeah,
Of course.
How much was the za'atar like in the 90s?
I'd say I think it was $1.
Dollar, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's when we first opened, I think there was probably about 10 items on the menu, and there was all pastries and pizza. That was it.
Yeah, I could guarantee you
Yeah.
that you go to shops where they're
Yeah.
not like a pastry shop,
Yeah.
but they're selling za'atar for like $9.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing with us.
And it's been
we want
frozen
to keep-
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we only introduced like platters probably about 13 years ago. So
Yeah.
and that's when we started to expand our menu, and like we tried to bring new people in because it started to get boring and repetitive. So you need to introduce new items.
So, do you do it like yearly, like every 3 years, or how does it work?
Just
when-
randomly, man.
randomly,
Like
it just
if a
comes?
thought pops into your head and you're able to do it, then we try to introduce it. But like sometimes things are just good the way they are. But
Yeah.
it's nice to just like introduce something randomly
Yeah,
out
and
of nowhere. But you don't want to try to do too much
Yeah.
at the same time,
We are very bad at putting prices up. We don't like doing it
Yeah.
unless we feel the inflation
Need,
and
yeah.
when we need to do it.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Yeah, we only do it when we're forced.
yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
we don't want to do it. As you can see, the za'atar is $2.50, and that's because we all looked at each other and we're like, man, it's rude to go higher than that.
You get, you get customers that get one za'atar and they put like $3 worth of sauce on it. First of all, you shouldn't be putting sauce on
No, you
za'atar.
shouldn't.
And there goes all your profits. So
Yeah.
That's
Look,
crazy.
I guess like for that entry price, you'll get a lot of like everyone will go in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you'll
Yeah.
see a lot. Like you'll see all type of demographics. And,
Heaps.
Yeah. Who do you think is like your most popular client come from? Like are they like Aussie?
I would have to say probably Middle Eastern.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
still the
backgrounds.
Lebanese, I'd say.
It's still like throughout, whether it's Ramadan or Lent, like when people are fasting on meat, you start to feel it throughout that time. Like I think it's March,
Yeah.
and that's when we realise like it's sort of the Middle East who are fasting
Yeah.
throughout that time. The business starts to slow down a little bit more.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So, like, what's the vision for the A1 for the boys for the future?
I don't know. For now, I think this is good. We'll see how High Point goes. We reckon it'll be good. We reckon it'll be a success, and then sky's the limit, man. After that, we'll see.
we'll have to wait for your sister's kids to get a bit older,
Yeah.
and then you can open more shops, and they can all have them.
Maybe we'll go to Geelong. We
That's
don't
the
know.
plan. Yeah.
Geelong.
Maybe Sydney.
Sydney?
We were talking about
get a-
Sydney today.
We get a lot of people from Sydney coming in. and
Yeah.
But like,
Plenty, yeah.
yeah, and they're like, you need to open in Sydney. But then you get a lot of people from Sydney where they're like, they're not
heaps
used
of
to the
shops
style of pastries that we make.
Because it's more like
It's more like pizza over there.
Yeah,
It's more like
it's different
open
to
in a
almond
box.
wash.
So
It's
like,
not-
even if it's a za'atar or a
Yeah,
meat, it's
Yeah,
open
it's
with
more
lemon.
like a pizza.
It's a
Yeah.
pizza.
It's
open,
not like
yeah.
a manushi.
We try to keep it traditional here, you know,
Yeah.
like the way you'd have it in Lebanon is pretty much the way you'd have it here. But
Yeah.
Me and Billy were actually talking about it today. If you guys want to move to Sydney,
Not move, like open in
we want to
open
go
one in Sydney.
Can't move.
Yeah, because they've got a really big Middle Eastern community there.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
Heaps.
Yeah.
It's massive. But there are a lot of bakeries there as well, man.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I
only
want
at
to
every
Yeah,
corner
so,
in Sydney you
yeah.
find one. It's
There's some
it's
nice
ridiculous.
ones as well.
Lots of comp.
Like a lot more than here, I
Oh,
think.
really? Yeah.
In
I'm not sure. I haven't been to any bakeries.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, true.
The last thing I want to eat when I go away. Yeah.
Nice. What about on a personal level? Like, what's the vision on a personal level in terms of life? Like, I know Anthony, you're a runner, you're an
Yeah.
athlete. What's
Well, man, I've just actually started my own family, so life's just gotten hectic.
yeah?
So my
You just
vision-
got a child as well.
a child as
Yeah.
well. So with work and family and the little one, it's just like sort of trying to make time for everything at once, and even just trying to open up a shop or trying to expand in whatever way. Like having the thought of both is a challenge, but it's also fun. You know?
Balancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
It's
yeah.
a girl. Okay, so would you want her to be involved in the brand in the future?
100%.
Yeah, you
100%.
want- yeah.
But at the same time, I would obviously like her to take her own path.
Yeah.
But at a certain age, you know, whether it's work experience and she gets sucked in again, that's how we start. That's the way it starts. So but we'll see how we go.
But do you think you would be more conscious about how you approach this situation?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, you've learned from your own experience.
For sure, man. I wouldn't ever force my daughter
Yeah.
or my kids to feel pressured into it. Yeah, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our parents never did growing up, you know.
Yeah.
If anything, our parents didn't want us in here.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we always wanted it
we,
more.
we just they didn't.
You guys can speak for yourselves.
Oh, for you, sorry. No.
My dad's like, come to work. I need you.
Yeah, I think that's
See you
where they
later.
realised that they don't want the other two to get sucked into the
Yeah,
shop.
okay.
But I feel like when it comes to business and when it comes to making money, which is so hard these days, you realise how important having a business is,
Yeah.
and to even start from scratch is hard. And we're so lucky that we've had this base, and we're so fortunate that our parents, you know, built this up for us. And the least we could do is, you know, open up
Continue
a
it.
few more and continue.
Yeah.
And I think we're very lucky. We're all on the same path and same level. And
Yeah, it's
it
good
just
that
helped
we
us grow.
understand each other. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, when you have your own business and you're like, there's so many ideas. Even if like you're selling pastries, but like you did an Adidas collab, like it's so good. Like you're doing Australian Open, like these are cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And if
Got
Billy,
all
that
these-
goes back to building a relationship
Yeah,
with customers.
yeah.
Yeah.
That happened because one of our customers, like, she liked us and like she thought she worked like with Adidas
Yeah.
and she thought we would be a good fit for their campaign.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just goes back to building that relationship with your customer.
And that's where, if you're not in the shop, how would they get that energy
Yeah.
off us?
Yeah.
How would they feel the need to approach us? And that's why we're so
Yeah.
persistent on someone being in the shop. And I think we get that off my dad, you know. And that's how it
what
works.
I personally love and like really appreciate is from the outside looking, is like there is a lot of organic love for you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, that guy at the boiler room wearing A1. Like this is amazing.
that
man.
stuff's cool, man. So
This,
good to
this
see.
stuff is so nice, and it just makes you realize there is so much more potential. Like, yes, it's a hospitality business, but it's
We're
a
so
brand.
grateful, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're so
it's
grateful
a
for
brand.
that,
So, like,
No, we do really appreciate the love, man, by customers, and that's giving and then you receiving. That's how it works, and I feel like that's how we are with our customers and our energy. They feel that, you know, and I think that's how it works.
Now,
what
we're
about
pretty
A1
fortunate.
Lebanon? I know you love
We thought of that.
Yeah,
I was
we
actually
we thought about it, and then the war
Yeah.
started. So
A1 started.
yeah, it would be
It's a
nice.
great idea.
I'd move to Lebanon.
Oh my god.
You know?
It's just
Yeah.
sad what's happening right now,
Yeah.
man.
So if things calm down and the economy gets better, you never know, man. You never know.
Are you married, Haikal?
Nah.
You're not married yet.
Nah.
So Daniel is married with a child.
Yeah.
And Anthony on the way.
Yeah.
Soon to be.
It's engaged. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm engaged.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
You
Yeah.
wanted to
Pardon?
ask that, yeah?
Yeah, we've got some more kind of like hard-hitting, directed questions for you
Yeah.
guys to kind of like ask each other, get
Yeah.
a bit like sentimental. Maybe Haikal. These are funny.
Yeah.
Haik, what's one thing that you admire about each of your brothers?
Oh. Shit, this is hard.
Thanks, bro.
You're
great start.
you're putting me on the spot. Daniel, I'd say his work ethic. Just like he's very organised. Dan's a very organised person. Just with just anything, truck gigs, ordering things. Just like he's very organised. So
He's always that step ahead.
yeah,
You
he's
look
always
to
on.
him. You guys both look to him for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
most
always
of the time
on.
he's
Like
always
if,
ahead.
if you ask Daniel a question, he'll reply to you in a second.
Dan's already
Like,
emailed someone.
Yeah, he's already sent an email. It's like, wait,
Bro, I just saw the message. So he's good like that.
Anthony as well. Like I think it's just his balance between his personal life, his running, training, and work. Like if he's got to start work at 7, he'll be up at 5 running. You know, like
Gets it done.
yeah, I can't do that. So that's something I probably admire.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Daniel,
Yep.
what's a childhood memory that you think of with your brothers that still makes you smile to this day? It can be like in the shop, can be anything.
Childhood memory. There's heaps actually. I don't know if I could say these on camera, but
We'll edit it out if it's
Nah,
bad.
I'm curious.
childhood memory would have to be just literally like waiting until we turn 18. We turned 18 and I was just happy to see Hake so happy to finally have us join him while going out, or like even join him like at a bar or a club. He used to always say, just us even growing up as kids, can't wait till you guys reach 18.
Yeah.
And
Can't
when that
take
time
us there,
came,
yeah.
I do remember
we
those days,
I made the most of it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's so family centric, the answer. Do you know what I mean? It's like I was happy because it made my brother happy. You know what I mean? That's sick. Haikal, being the older brother, if you could give a single piece of advice to your brothers, what would it be?
Fuck. I look at them for advice sometimes, man. So it's a bit hard.
You've been pretty good at advice, bro. in the
You know,
past for me.
I am good at advice when I can't think of anything right now.
Hake is really straight up. Like
Yeah.
if something, he doesn't go around in circles. He'll give you the straight answer. Like if you're not happy with it, that's on you. Like he won't sort of like make you feel good about his answer.
And not only that, like he came, like
I don't
that time where was-
sugarcoat
Doesn't
shit when it
sugarcoat
comes to my
things,
brothers.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Like
Yeah.
even that time where I was going through my stuff, I would turn to my brothers and ask them for stuff. And honestly, there's heaps of times I'd look at Hake and he would ground me, And I
Yeah.
think when you feel anxious and you feel like, you're in your head so often, and honestly, it makes me feel emotional even thinking about it. I'd look at Hake and I'd feel like, fuck, bro, like thanks.
Yeah.
And that's what made me feel so strong and so grounded. And I don't think it helped me heaps, bro, growing up. And and I really appreciate it.
Fucking
Yeah.
love it.
don't cry.
Touches the heart, mate. Touches the heart.
It's one of those things because I've got older siblings too. It doesn't matter who your older
Yeah.
sibling is. You look up to them like there's no
Yeah,
tomorrow,
yeah.
man. And if they say something, it's like God said it to you sometimes.
exactly
You know what
right,
I mean? And you take that so personally. It's something you'll reflect on
Yeah.
for years to come. I remember things that my sister has told me 10 years ago, and I had to bring it up with her, and she's like, yeah, I can't even remember that. But to
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
like, it meant so much to me because I was so young, and
Yeah.
you look up to them like that. So I can definitely relate.
A little bit like more than the actual parents,
Yeah,
Like,
for
sure.
There's that
Yeah.
just trust.
It is a different level, yeah.
Yeah.
And my sister was that person too. Just to say, like, we can't sort of
Shout out.
put her aside because she's not here. She was always like that figure in as well.
100%, yeah.
So
Guiding
she's
for the family.
oldest of you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's the older sister. She looks the youngest. But
They are very like Russian Hake. Like
yeah,
you
I'm
could
very
probably get the same
close
advice
to
from
my
them.
sister because
Yeah.
we grew up together.
Yeah.
We work together.
Is she involved in the
We
business?
almost used to kill each other. Like, yeah,
She's married.
I used to
4
fight
kids.
with her more than I don't think I've ever had a real fight with the boys.
Yeah. No.
Well, with your sister you
Me and
did.
my sister used to
How?
just smash
What's the
them,
age
man.
gap?
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
What about you boys growing up like as twins in terms of like advice? How does that go?
It's a great way to see. Yeah, I feel like Anth was a bit more confident growing up. I feel so. Looking up to Anth was always like that takes phone again. Yeah, that's awesome.
Bro, you got to put on silent.
Yeah.
It's all good. So I feel like Ant's like the sort of person, even until now, I will just turn to and just like ask him a question. I feel like because we share the same mind, and you know, like when they say twins can feel when another person's hurt, it's more because you've grown up together and you know what like the other person's actually going through. And I feel like he's just the person that will always help me get through things when I need to, or like when I need an answer, he'll just provide me with the one I need to hear.
Yeah, same vice versa. Like we literally bounce off each other.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like we both know what we need, and as being my twin, he knows how I feel in situations, and I know how he'll feel in situations, and just hearing it off, you know, your other half, it literally feels good because that's
Just
what you want
getting
to hear.
deep, man. Just getting deep.
Yeah.
I love this
that,
shit.
man. That's what
It's
we're here
beautiful,
for, you know?
man.
And I think that's what we want to actually let people know about.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
interesting people behind those interesting brands. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The story, the emotions. You know what I mean? The next question I really like a lot. What's a lesson from your parents that each of you tries to carry into your work or life every day? One thing that.
I think Hay can go because I think it actually applies for all of us when it comes to my dad.
And Mum's got that caring side to her that we all hold, you know, and I think that's why our hearts are so big because, you know, it comes from Mum and Mum teaching us how to be with people. And I think, especially with our parents, they are very religious, and the one thing that if we ever lacked a bit of disbelief in anything, the first thing they'd say is, you know, God's got you.
Turn to
and
God,
I think
always.
that's what we've been lucky growing up in a household of, you know, of that. And I think we've taken it on in life. You know, any situation that comes our way, we pretty much leave it to God's hands, and that's pretty much my parents.
I was just going to say, Dad should always say, just no one's going to look after the business as much as you. We've been pretty grateful. We've got some amazing staff members that have been with us for years.
Yeah.
But like, there's just like sometimes it's because it's your own business. Like some things won't get done like unless you do it yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's what it is. You just got to work like.
And that's no fault of the staff, really.
No,
but
no,
they're
no,
just not in
it's-
the mindset to think of it in the same way that you are. Because we're the same
No,
with
we've been
with the
very
business.
lucky with our staff, man. Like I
Very
can't
lucky,
explain
like-
how grateful we are for the staff that we've got. But yeah, that was it. It's like your own. You won't look at. No one's going to look at the business the way you look at your business because it's not their business.
And like
you know
even
what
when
I mean?
we went away, we just actually recently got back. We were in Bali for a best mate's wedding, and we were away for like a week. And during that time of planning, we were like, how are we all going to leave the business and leave it behind when this is the first time that no one's going to be here in Melbourne, especially the three of us, and who are they going to turn to and talk to or ask questions about if they had like any queries or anything like that. But it sort of just worked itself out because of the staff that we've got here who have just been awesome, and the support that comes.
Like that's how hard it is for us.
That was pretty good.
So
No, it was smooth, man. So,
it was really
yeah,
smooth,
pretty
thankfully.
good.
Yeah.
But those
Sorry,
you go.
Does that make you feel like maybe we could actually step back a little bit and not be too much on the floor or on like the growth of the brand or?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
I think he
like I
is very
said,
hard,
it's
man.
always
Like,
different.
I think Fitzroy is easier because it's takeaway. It's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's just like there's so many things happening, man. Like, so I feel like you can take a step back, but you know you got to keep your eye from a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because that's how we've grown up.
Yeah.
Like you know,
And it
like,
always falls back onto that, just the way they've been brought up.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, for a brand, like there's a lot of things that you know can be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you're not involved in the business and you're like from the back, you kind of see things differently. But I guess if it's if it's working for you, then
Yeah, maybe it's just us being a bit extra, but I do believe that it is important, and I think it shows, and it shows by people walking in and opportunities arising. Like if they had no one to approach about it, it might just die there.
Yeah.
So I think for us to always be involved and be here and have someone to approach about a problem or about
That was the
a
High
new
Point gig
venture,
too.
High Point,
Yeah.
Oz Open. Heaps of things that have popped up recently just
being
just
in
happened
store.
through these doors, and
Exactly.
that's why we love this place so much.
Has anyone tried to buy it?
good question.
I'm
Nah.
not too sure, man.
Nah.
Maybe a few years ago, but yeah, nah.
Recently,
I don't
nah.
think so. I think they see the chaos and they're like, they don't want any of it,
Stop
man. So.
It's very
Yeah,
personal. Like
yeah.
anyone.
It would be hard to recreate the magic if you guys went.
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure.
Boys, like, do you recall a time where like A1 started to feel like more known and more like? Do you know what I mean? Like where things just went
Like things starting to get
really
crazy?
good. Yeah, like that one moment or a time in your journey.
I think it just pretty much started when people started asking for our merch and asking if we sell t-shirts
Yeah.
and stuff like
When
that.
locals wanted to wear
you
it
know?
and stuff.
So when was that? Like
Probably about 10 years ago, I'd say.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably about that. Like, maybe. Yeah, probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then like you get like appearances from Anthony Bourdain, stuff like that, and then you'd see like a segment on.
But even that was
even like even earlier, even in the the early 2000s stuff. You'd see write-ups in the Herald Sun and the Age and all that sort of stuff.
It was a little build up.
Yeah, it was just you could feel it building up as well, but.
But lately, hey, the last
Last year or two have been pretty crazy.
yeah,
Do you
100%.
think social media is like
100%.
helps?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely helps. Like when supposedly Kanye West came in,
Tell us about that.
man, that just went viral.
It went viral,
Actually,
man.
yeah.
That was probably the only time none of us were actually in the shop that day.
Did it
No,
actually
we
happen?
were.
Actually, I
Me-
was.
me-
I was
me and
yeah.
Daniel were.
Yeah, Hank was here as well.
And a customer just walked in and he said to us, sorry, but was Kanye West here? And I looked at Daniel and I said, what the
I was
fuck?
like, is this
What
guy
kind-
serious? He's taking the piss.
What a random question. And then we're like, nah. And then the phone rang, and then someone asked my cousin, and he goes, was Kanye West at the shop, at the bakery?
This went on for like 2 or 3 days.
And then my cousin, no, it was that day, it was that same day.
Yeah,
The calls kept
And
coming
then my
through.
cousin came up to us and said, someone just called and said if Kanye West came into the shop. So I went back to the customer and I said, why'd you ask me? He goes, man, it's all over TikTok.
Gee.
And then we looked at TikTok and it was just going wild.
Who said that?
I was here that next morning. It was 6:30, and there was a cameraman just waiting for me at the door.
Yeah,
What?
Just ready to interview us
We
about
had
this.
who was it? Channel
Sunrise?
Was the morning
The
show.
morning show.
Yeah.
Morning show, yeah.
So what? So was he here or not?
We can't tell you. It was
It's under an NDA.
confidentiality,
NDA.
So
We thought we were gonna
You know?
get this good. That was the actual purpose of this podcast. We couldn't get it.
but yeah, that just spread like wildfire,
I'm
man.
sure.
Like, that reached the States. Like, so it was pretty. Like, that's the power of social media. So that was pretty cool.
When did you guys start taking your kind of digital presence a bit more seriously? So I noticed you started working with an agency.
Yeah, a few years ago, hey.
What year was that? I can't even remember.
Honestly, I reckon the last 4 or 5 years have
Yeah.
been where
5
we've
years.
actually decided
Yeah, like
to,
we tried to
knuckle
build it up
down.
ourselves, but
Yeah.
like man, it's actually like trying to manage like the shop and like being like out here, then trying to do all that online. Like it doesn't seem like a lot to
At
some
one point-
people,
Yeah.
but like
It's a
it's
lot,
just
man.
too hard.
At one point, Hank was actually looking at buying.
I was looking at buying
Buying a
cameras and
camera.
everything, man. I was
I'm
ready
like,
to
You
just
look
calm
at
down.
Hank and he's standing on a chair over a table. And that's when I knew we needed to hire someone.
someone had to do it.
He was
So,
sending us links to these cameras that were worth like $5,000. I'm like, calm down.
someone had to do it, man. They weren't gonna do it.
I'm
so-
like, man, these photos aren't turning out the way they should be.
Hey, I
saw him with
done, in
the
my
camera on
defense,
the
I done
table,
pretty
that
well,
killed
I
me.
reckon. So, but then, like, yeah, then it gets too much. And like
We know that's literally why our whole business exists.
And imagine having to do that and run the business. Like,
So,
it's too much.
It's nuts. It's
too
nuts.
messy.
full-time job
Too messy.
sometimes. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no, our Instagram's like it's getting traction, so it's been pretty.
You guys are doing well online. We love what you guys do online. They're just killing it for you.
Do you feel like you know, you guys well established now? Do you feel like your parents, because I know it was your uncle and your dad that started the business together, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you getting the attention, awareness more than they do, and like, how do they feel about it now? Like, I know your uncle is not with us anymore, but how does your dad feel about it in terms of like what's happening now? Like, does he talk about it? Does
Dad is really proud of us
Yeah.
and the things that we've done, but we also keep him in the loop of everything. Like,
Yeah.
whether it's opening up a shop, the truck,
Always get his blessing.
any ideas, we'll go to him first before anyone hears about it.
Yeah.
Just getting his like tick, and once Dad says yes or no, that's when we take our path. Yeah.
I don't think my brother's ever worked with my uncle, Shafi.
Yeah, nah.
And like in the early 90s as well, like because I was when I was like 10 years old and stuff, I used to come here, and like you work with both my dad and my uncle, and it's just like you learn so many new things. And even in the 90s, like we were like not everyone knew that we were here, and at that time, my uncle Tony, he was a singer. And he used to like have concerts, and like he used to shout out like the bakery. So that's how a lot of people started finding out about the bakery. So like word of mouth started to get around and stuff
Well,
like
back
that.
then, they weren't relying on social media.
Of course.
They must be proud now, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but like my dad, man, my dad's quick to humble you. Like he'll say good job, but he'll humble you real quick just so you stay on track and you don't get carried away, you don't get ahead of yourself. So
Which is good, I think. I think it's good.
how did
You
the
don't
name
get
A1 come?
now honestly, I reckon they were just having a drink and they just thought, you know what, we need to be on top of this Yellow Pages book, man, and then that's how they thought of it, A1 Bakery.
Straight on top of the list.
We were the top.
I think
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much that was it.
the Yellow
Man.
Pages.
It was that simple. I think there was nothing genius, but it was probably genius back then. But yeah, but that's what. But
It works
that's.
out perfect.
I think it was just.
It's
that,
so
that
iconic
simple,
now.
Man.
We love it, and we never second guess why they did it. We just very grateful they actually picked the name.
What would you boys call it if it wasn't A1?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm happy. I'm happy with this name.
I'm happy they won.
Same.
I'm really
nah,
happy
you-
with it.
I couldn't even, like, honestly, even I was just trying to think of it. Just then, I couldn't think of another name
Yeah.
for this
That's
place.
why we're
like
grateful the business
it's such an
already existed.
institution.
Yeah.
We're grateful that
That's
business
why.
already exists, so we didn't have to worry about coming up with a name.
Yeah,
coming up with a
exactly.
name's hard, I reckon.
Yeah.
Baker Boys.
Yeah, I
What's
know.
the most popular dish at A1? Or like thing?
The
Cheese pie.
Cheese pie.
Cheese pie.
Yeah.
It's a bang.
It's the goat.
It used to be the za'atar, and then the cheese pie just took over.
Went crazy.
Shout out Zafar, man, but cheese
Yeah.
pie, you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, no, I know. Za'atar's like the traditional.
Yeah.
It's the original. That's the first thing they made, you know.
Yeah.
But like the cheese.
People are scared though to try new things. I
Yeah.
feel there's heaps to try. Even the shanklish, it's so underrated.
So
It's so
good.
underrated, and it's so
It is.
good.
And Shanglish is more literally like Lebanon and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more traditional.
it's more traditional, but yeah, halloumi cheese works, man. And I think just
Everyone loves it.
that and bread.
Simple.
So good.
Yeah.
Should we
Let's play the
some
game.
games? Yeah.
Let's play the game. I was just about to
What are
turn
the
to you and
games?
say it. So, guys, we're gonna do like a game where we ask you all a question, and it's kind of like how well do you know your brothers, and it's just gonna be a bit of
What's in the
fun.
is there anything in the box?
There's nothing in the
Nah,
box.
nothing in the box.
Okay.
Just so you can lean on it. Don't show each other your answers. We're going to ask you all the same question, and you know how this works. You all write it down. I would probably write it down like on a landscape, so because you're going to show the camera when you do it,
Okay.
and
So
then
a whole page, pretty much.
yeah, whole page. There's enough pages of paper there, so you can do one per answer, and then you answer the questions, hold it up, and then we'll see what you guys answer about each other.
Done.
All right? You're going to ask some
Don't share,
questions?
Let's
go.
Fix it. Yeah, okay. So, who's your parents' favorite?
Are we doing two answers here?
No, it's one. You
One
have to-
answer.
You have to work it out. Haikal.
Well, I'm gonna say me for my mum.
Everyone says hey.
my dad.
It's unanimous.
Yeah.
It's unanimous. Just so everybody that's listening, like Anthony wrote Hake, Daniel wrote Hake, and Hake wrote me. So I think it's pretty clear who the favourite is.
That was good.
Okay. Who's the troublemaker?
Ooh. Are we talking about?
That's it, simple. Hold on for a second. Okay,
Should have just saved the paper. Should have just saved the
Still just
paper.
save the paper, man.
Too. I know.
Hake?
Are we talking about us or out of?
No, we're talking about the three now.
Oh, no, she's
three.
pretty grounded.
No, keep it about the three.
Okay. Otherwise,
So once again, it's Hake. Just so everyone knows. All three.
So am I winning? I don't know.
Yeah, you're the champion. All right, who's the most annoying to work with?
No, you know what? No, I'm not writing me.
you know by him saying that he knew it was
I'm actually not writing. I'm not writing me because it's Ant.
Okay, the twins wrote Hake,
You gotta
and
look for him.
Hey, I'm
Hake wrote Ant.
It's like, where's Ant? This is annoying.
And that's why he's annoying to look at.
Because he's never
He
there.
doesn't believe that I'm working. There you go. We're gonna start trouble here.
This is bad.
Oh, gee, okay. Which one of you is the worst cook?
Worst cook.
The worst cook.
I'm gonna say the twins, man, because I don't think they both.
Okay, the twins.
They both can't cook. man.
Anthony and Daniel
it's-
both put up me,
not that we
and
can't
Hake
cook.
wrote the twins.
It's just I don't have to cook at home,
You don't have to cook.
and we are very lucky. Obviously, I'm still at home. My fiance looks at me when I go to her house, so I'm pretty lucky. So that's about it.
No, I live on my own, man. It's survival.
I think honestly, Lebanese people, like I can talk about myself, we grow up not learning to cook, bro, because parents they cook so nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What would
that
you-
makes sense.
Yeah.
I only started to learn when I moved here, and I had to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
All right, this is like you guys are all gonna have a different answer. If each of you were a pastry, what pastry would you be?
from the menu.
From the menu.
Yeah.
It's a good one, man. Pastry would I be?
I'll be a cheese pie.
Ooh, that's a good answer, bro.
Meat pizza.
All right, we'll start with
Nice.
we'll start with Anthony. He's written A1 special. Why are you an A1 special?
Oh, I think I've got a lot of flavors. Bro. Like Hake said, man, I'm
There's a lot to you.
1,000 things at once, man, and I think that's why I'm an A1 special.
Nice.
Hake wrote cheese pie. Why are you a cheese
I'm
pie?
just nice and fluffy, man. and it's just one ingredient. That's just me. Like it is what it. You get what.
And let's not sleep on. Everyone loves you.
And
Exactly. And I'm everyone's favourite. So.
And Daniel, you wrote meat pie.
Meat, the meat pizza. Why? Meaty. And if you want to add a bit of lemon and chili,
Nice.
just to spice me up a little bit. That's
That's all you need. All right, which brother gets the most fan messages or DMs from the A1 Bakery fans?
It's a hard one, man, lately.
I don't know if I can say this.
It's actually a hard one.
Don't cheat, Anthony.
I'll say Hake for Hake's sake.
It's Anth, and I'll tell you
I
why.
think
I feel
Anthony's
like-
just trying to be humble
I know.
here. Okay.
Nah, well, lately it's all, Hake, look at the last post. For God's sake. Go on the last video of Hake talking about AO.
Yeah.
He's been labelled King, OG, Boss, and like you said, he's everyone's favourite. So.
No, but like fan mail and stuff like that, it's Anth because we've got a very gender neutral community. So he gets from both sides, and he's everyone's favourite.
Just for people that are listening, Hake wrote Anth, Daniel wrote Anth, and Anthony wrote
Hake.
Hake.
But
Right.
also, I think Anthony is pretty like
But it's
active.
a twins.
He's active, like,
more
Sorry,
active
but
than
you know it's unfair on Dan because there's always messages like that say, "Oh, the A1 twins, the A1 twins."
Yeah.
So
okay, so it's a twin thing.
It's the
Yeah,
twin
it's-
thing.
it's a twin thing,
culture
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who's most likely to fall asleep first after a big day at work?
Let me just flick through the papers.
Big day at work?
You can flip the paper.
You might as well.
Say me, yeah.
You don't have to flip it
He
out.
knows, he knows.
Everyone's agreed that it's Hank.
Because I work the hardest, that's why.
Who spends the most time in front of the mirror in the morning?
You bastards.
How do you know it's you?
That's how you know that it's Hank.
Where is it?
Not that I do. I do not. Okay? These blokes would leave the house out of bed.
So just when I can.
These blokes would leave the house out of bed.
Everyone wrote Anthony and Anthony wrote himself. So it's pretty unanimous decision.
That's so good.
Pretty boy.
I think that's awesome.
That's it, I think. That's it. That was so good.
Beautiful.
That's
Thanks,
fun, man.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
way to end it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it's bit
awesome.
of fun. Yeah, that was sick.
Nice.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Like,
Thank you for coming.
absolute
Thank you for having us.
pleasure to have you
Honestly.
guys. We've been
I love
from the
your video,
moment
guys.
from the moment that we started the podcast. Honestly, we were talking about doing it with you guys.
Oh,
And we're
man.
just trying to
Thanks,
make it
It
happen.
was really hitting me up
It's a
also.
special one for us. That's why we actually wanted to do it here, because it's a special
On location.
episode for us. So
Thank you.
yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it. Thanks for your time.
And can't wait to see you guys grow and see where the future leads. And I'm sure it's gonna be awesome and filled with tradition and manouche and
You know
Thanks
it, mate.
a lot.
You know it.
And
Thank
you guys too, man. You guys are
Yeah.
killing us.
Yeah, you guys doing really well.
Thanks,
Loving the
guys.
videos, you guys.
We appreciate it.
Love it.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Awesome.
boys. You're the
Thank you.
best.
Thanks so much.
That's it.
Cheers.
That's it, boys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, bro.
Love you, man.
Thank you guys so much.